Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. It's a very gloomy Tuesday morning here in London. I just wanted to break down this trade I took yesterday, which would have been a Monday, depending on when you guys are seeing this. So I've had a few requests to break this trade down on Audchf. As you can see, had a little position in here, ended up taking 2.48% from it. You're probably thinking, you know, price just shot through. How have you taken some profit from that? And I'm going to explain in this video. I just sort of break down what I saw, what I was looking at, and why I got out. And yeah, again, hopefully this video is helpful to you guys. You take something from it, and you know, have a great trading week. So just go back to where I was looking at it. So I believe it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. So we'll go about there. So I sent this picture out to my private Discord, just saying I was looking at AD Swiss franc for potential buys when we hit either of these three demand areas, because they're all highly probable. I did have these two as short term. I was looking at this zone because we do have liquidity there. If we are to shoot through these areas, then I did say I'd look for potential shorts into this area, potentially this area, depending on how we react to this. So obviously, as you guys can see, we did actually hit the first area of demand, and I've just jumped down to the 1 minute. This was what I was looking at. So I'm going to leave the position on here because that was my exact position, and I don't want to obviously make it look maybe, you know, I don't know, a tighter stop loss or something, make it look unrealistic, because that's not what it was. I'm not about all that. So obviously you can see the first tap into the zone. For you guys that don't know my rules, rule number 1 is liquidity sweep of first zonal tap. So that is the first zonal tap. We just pierced the zone there. And you can see we had a little reaction from the zone before taking out that liquidity. So as you know, as soon as we tap into the zone, we've got millions of traders entering there, because obviously there are aggressive traders out there who trade on, you know, just a zone being tapped. That's their entry criteria. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But obviously I'm looking for the stop losses of those people who have done that, but have tried to put their stop losses, I don't know, below the low or something like that, to try and catch big moves. So I'm waiting for them to be taken out. I'm waiting for the shift of hands, and then once that's all done, I'll look for my entry. So there's a lot of patience in a zone. So what I'm looking for, number 2, I'll just write them down. Let's move that down a bit. So rule number 2, which I actually forgot to put in the last video, I want to see about 30 to 50%, 30 to 60% of the zone mitigated. So anywhere within those two areas is good for me. So we're looking at about maybe within this sort of area. So basically anywhere below this line, if the zone is mitigated, then I'm happy with the fact that this zone has actually been mitigated, because obviously if we were to react from this area and shoot up, we could still take this liquidity and come down and mitigate this zone further. It just takes out the possibility of liquidity being swept when I do go in for my position. The only reason I can be stopped out is if, or obviously I could be swept out by liquidity, or it could just be the wrong direction and prices shoot straight through the zone, which happens often, to be fair. You know, there's nothing wrong with it at all. I don't mind losses. So if we just show this here, so what we did get was a liquidity sweep. So from this position, whoa, slow down. So from this position right here, for me to set up an entry, I'd want to see the high or the source of this break. So this printed a new low, and this low is here. So I'd want to see the source of that area. So this whole leg, you see the top of this area, I'd want to see that broken before I look to set up a position. and obviously, as you guys just saw, we didn't get that, and we failed to print a new high. So momentum isn't up at the moment. It's still bearish, and we're still sweeping liquidity of this zone. So at the moment, I'm still on the sidelines, and we'll just put rule number 3. Want to see a break of structure. What can I spell today? Break of structure paired with momentum. So obviously the break of structure will confirm the momentum. So basically we just got to sit down and wait now, because we have had a liquidity sweep. We have had 30% of the zone mitigated. I'm happy this zone has been mitigated if we do move up now. And yeah, now we just got to wait for rule number 3, which is a break of structure paired with momentum. So you can see we printed the last low here, and then from this point we did just break that area right there. So again, you can see we had this low printed here, and this was the area that sourced that print. So I want to see this broken. You can see we did just break it, and then I think the next move did confirm it for me. I wasn't too sure about entering on this break because it is literally just a wick. So I did hold off, and then when I saw this, we got another break of structure. It was a lot more clean. Then I was happy with the fact that I was going to set up an entry. And you can see we did have this sort of area here, did leave a bit of inducement just above this zone, which is fantastic. I love to see it. And now, obviously, you probably got a lot of questions. Why did I pick this area? Well, if we take that off, you can see we've got, from below this area, we've got all of that wick, and the bottom of this wick are mitigated. And if we were to rearrange this liquidity tool right here, we've got something that looks like this, and it leads straight into this area. It leads straight here. So I was always looking at that area as this potential scenario could play out. So I just wanted to play it safe. Obviously, price could have just come down to this area right here, or maybe that wick. That wick's probably better because that's mitigated the bottom zone. So it could have just come down to this area and shot up. You know, even if that did happen and I did have my position down here, I've been happy with that, because at the end of the day, you got to play it safe and you got to protect the capital. So I was always eyeing up this scenario. So I just covered this whole wick and then the bottom of this one, and that was my entry point. And we just play this out. You can see we got a nice little tap in there, and we did go break even. So at this point, well, it wasn't that point, sorry. I think it was that point. Yeah, so at this point I did go break even, yeah. So I was out of the trade by now, and I'll tell you why. So this wick, we went break even, or break a structure. So because of all of this in here, it wasn't looking very momentous for me. So I was happy to go break even and just sort of see how it plays out. But as you can see on the bottom there, 4 o'clock is the time I'm out of trades and done for the day. So I ended up coming out around this area. I believe that was about 2.48%, if I'm correct. So I came out about here, exactly there, because that was me done for the day. Yeah, so that was me done for the day, and I decided to just close the position and take the profit from it. So at the end of yesterday, we were up 2.48%. So the rules actually saved me from a break-even move. If I just put that back to where it was, my initial first target was 2.31, I think. So, and this did actually come down to break even and take me out. So obviously at the end of the day, a break even is not bad either. But obviously you got to stick to your rules, and you know, the rules have definitely helped me out there. It was painful because obviously, as you can see, we did start to move up after I came out of the trade. So could have taken a bit more from it, but you got to be grateful for what you get. And at the end, I think it just tanked and came down. Yeah, so that was the situation on Aussie dollar, Swiss franc, and that's why I entered. That's why I came out. And yeah, as always, I hope you guys found that useful. If you did, let me know. If you have any video recommendations you guys want to see, drop them down in the comments and I'll take a look. But until then, guys, have a fantastic week and enjoy it. Peace.